Hello everyone, this is just a quick review of how to do and interpret distance time graphs. So the first thing you need to know about distance time graphs is that typically distances are always positive. And that's why we draw the graph so that the axis is on the bottom. If you're looking to figure out the direction an object's moving, you're really looking to determine the sign of the slope. If it's a positive slope like this line, you're moving away. On the other hand, if it's a negative slope, you're moving towards. So sign of the slope is direction. The speed depends on the steepness of the line. If the line is fairly gradual, in other words, it has a low slope, it's going slow. And here, it's going fast because the line is steep. The last thing you have to figure out is whether the speed is constant or it's changing. If you're foundational, you don't have to know which way it's changing, just be able to identify that the speed is changing. So because that's a constant line, the speed is constant. Here we've got a changing curve, and that says that the speed is changing. In this particular case, we're going towards because the slope is negative, and we are speeding up because it's steeper, and then we're slowing down because it's getting less steep. Okay, let's do an example. Look at this graph, pause the movie, and try to figure out how it's moving in each particular spot. In this section, in this section, and in this section. I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, so the three questions you have to ask yourself are, question 1. Which direction am I traveling? So in this case, we have a negative slope, which means we're going towards. And then the next question is the speed constant or is it changing? In this case, for the first part, it is constant because it's a line. So the answer to the first part is that it's going towards at a constant speed. Now let's look for this part of the curve, which is really a flat line. So in that case, the distance doesn't seem to be changing at all. It's the same distance at each time. So is it going towards or away? Kind of neither. Is the speed constant? Yes, the speed is constant because it's a line. And in fact, the speed is 0. This is stopped. In the last part, we have a positive slope, which tells us that we're going away, and it's not a line, it's a curve, so that means the speed is changing, away and changing speed. So in review, these are the concepts we've talked about, that distances are always positive, that thinking about what the direction of the motion is, you should ask yourself about the sign of the slope, how fast the motion is, how steep the line is, and then whether the speed is changing or not, the difference there is line or curve. These are things I'd have on my index card for the quiz next class.